A very good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all our viewers onto the Janatri live session. And today we have with us a very lively and a very special guest with us, who is a woman leader herself. And she is Miss Vandana Teji. Welcome you, ma'am, to our live session.
Thank you, Dr. Shakti. Thank you so much. And it feels special by being, yeah, because you yourself are a women entrepreneur and, you're an achiever yourself.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It gives immense, motivation and inspiration to, talk with experts like you. And tell me, I'll just tell our viewers something about
Mhm.
you that Miss Vandana Teji is an HR professional turned entrepreneur who is working extensively to restore the human in human resource. She is the founder and chief consultant at the Unicorn People. She is the vice president at WICCI, Maharashtra Training and Development Council, and the mentor at QFUS. Oh, I think your description and your profile says a lot about you, ma'am. Very much about you, because I think you are a public figure. You are a speaker as well, and I think people adore you because of the work you're doing. You're doing a lot of work towards the people, right? You're contributing a lot to the society. So as we're talking about the workstation fitness, so I would just come to the very first question that because of the pandemic or the situations which is prevailing in our society right now, people at work, I mean, nowadays people have started, some of them have started going to office, some of them have they're staying at home and doing work. So can you just let me know why such kind of programs or sessions should be conducted for people at the workstation? I mean, why such kind of sessions should be done? A lot of things are there. I mean, as an HR professional, you must be creating such kind of a session or a program where people must be watching you. You must be helping out people. So can you, what is your opinion regarding why such kind of things should be done for people when they are having such kind of a hybrid scenario right now? Some are working at office, some are working at home. So what's your say about it?
Well, Shakti, Dr. Shakti, the thing is this that, COVID and the pandemic was something which nobody thought about. Okay. Even though there have been a lot of research that every 100 years we are hit by a natural calamity, and it can be in any form. However, the fact is that the world was not ready for something like this. So what? So in 2020 and 2021, the entire world was pushed to the wall, and this scenario wherein not just the businesses, the employees, everybody in the economy, they were all struggling to understand what will happen. Never did I see people glued to their television when there was a notification like, Pradhan Mantri is gonna, the Prime Minister is gonna address the nation. It was only when, I think, the last time people were glued like that to the television, or they were all waiting for the announcement to happen, was when Ramayana was being telecasted.
Yes.
So when, I think, none of us were there. So that was the scenario. That's way
Yeah.
back when TVs were launched. That
Yeah.
was the time, or when, there used to be a 9 o'clock news. People used to gather to television like that. So this kind of insecurity, wherein people were going through all kind of insecurities. Okay. And the most important thing was financial insecurity. Up till now, a lot of contracts did mention force majeure. What is force majeure is like, it's a legal clause for any natural calamity, but nobody had actually utilized it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, rarely people had actually utilized it, and that's the scenario. So everybody was going through this economic crisis. People lost jobs, businesses were shut down, there were so many businesses which were conked off. Life was, in a desperate situation. Everybody was in a desperate situation. So as a result, people, they tried to just stay afloat, and that was the need of the hour. And that's when, this work from home came into picture. Nobody ever, not many people, not many companies were actually practicing work from home. Barring the few progressive ones, they were also planning like a hybrid thing. Sometime or some other time, they will have a work from home. But this kind
Yes.
of a scenario where 100% of employees are working from home is something that was not there in picture. And since everybody was so scared about losing their job, they thought that let me just give me 120%, 150% to the work. As a result, everybody was glued to their laptop, eating in front of the laptop, sleeping in front of the laptop, long working hours, no place to set up. People did not have a formal desktop at home, or
Yeah.
or a setup at home wherein they are sitting on a table and a chair properly, ergonomically supporting their physical structure, and working in the comfort from their home. They were actually somehow managing. Most of them were working from bed.
Yeah. True.
As a result, it has impacted the workforce in a big time. And it is it is regardless of which age group you fall in. So where somebody like my friend who has just started her career, and she is like, say around 2 to 3 years old in the corporate workforce, she is having immense back pain. So I keep telling her, why don't you sit on a chair, why don't you buy a chair? So, like, again, buying a chair, how Mumbai homes are, they're very cramped. And then, you getting that chair, the chair will
Mhm.
add extra, thing. So I said, what is important is your health.
Yes.
So
That's true.
that's where the need of the hour is. And that's where, when we conduct, a lot of organizations are focused towards it. They're trying to take care of their employees. They're trying to give them all the support required so that they are able to work well, and at the same time not harm themselves.
Right.
So that's the need of the hour.
Right, right. So, very much true, ma'am. Very, very much true. Because we have seen a lot of people suffering those kind of conditions that you mentioned: back pain, knee pain, eye strain, neck problems. A lot of things have happened, and when now people are back to office, then also they are suffering all these kind of things. Like, I mean, they don't know where to start from, right? They don't know. They are not getting that guidance, or they are not getting that to-do list. Yeah, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to follow this kind of things. What are the other things, what I have to do? So many people are confused, right? So tell me, Mandana ma'am, how do you think a proper, how do you manage to form a proper protocol or a guideline for all those people? What are the things that has to be done to keep an employee's health at, at a proper condition, or how to channelize those things, how you can, in a very cost effective fitness programs can be formed for those people. So what's your opinion about it?
Well, see, the need of the hour is to not just focus on one way of fitness. The need of the hour is to focus on holistic well being. Okay.
Right.
What is required? You have to take care of your physical well being, your mental well being, or your emotional well being, your financial well being, as well as your social well being. So, physical and mental, I think everybody understands now. Financial is also, that is something being talked about. But social well-being usually takes the back seat. But during the COVID situation, when people were actually confined to their houses, that's when the need of social, well-being came into picture. The unfortunate scenario of the society in which we live is that people prefer to sit and watch series at their home rather than talking to their neighbor about their well-being. Okay, so there is no
Right.
personal connect with the person living next door. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they thought that once in a while you can go out, meet your friend, and that's enough for your social well-being. But when
Right.
that stopped happening and you were just confined to your own house, in your own cages, that's when the I think briefly the concept of social bubbles were actually introduced, wherein, like, if you know, the cricket team was kept in a social bubble, that they were all together, but they were not allowed to interact with anybody else from outside. So
Right.
while they were there for each other, but the society or anybody from outside couldn't meet them. So that kind
Right.
of a thing came into picture. Okay,
Right.
now coming back, the need of the hour, as that's what is social well-being. Okay. And then you had asked, basically what can be done in a most cost effective manner. you know
Yeah.
First of all, when it comes to well-being, physical or mental or financial, what is important is getting into that habit, setting up a discipline. And that's the major issue. You might have seen people, they exercise for a week's time, they meditate for a week's time, and that's over. It just fizzles out, it gets too boring, because the morning sleep, extra 1 hour of sleep is more important. Yeah,
Right.
it is. You as an individual will have to identify, okay, your own triggers as to what will motivate you, what will push you. Try to introduce something which is interesting for you. Like for me, for my a lot of corporates, what we have done, we have introduced hobby classes. Okay. Now
Okay.
hobby classes is a very interesting concept. Okay. And wherein we have formulated groups wherein employees can, whether it's an art class or a dance class, or badminton team or a snookers team, or there is a yoga team. So we have, these are hobby classes which we
Right.
run. Okay. And these are run entire year, for the entire year. Okay. And you can choose an option to be a part of two of it, or three of it, or one of it,
Okay.
whichever. Like for a person like me, I want a different fitness thing every day. I get
Okay.
bored. Okay. I can't
Right.
do the same exercise 5 times, even if there are exercises wherein I am supposed to repeat those exercises. I get bored. So
Right.
like,
Right.
I'm doing a 40 minutes exercise, and you will ask me to do 3 sets of this and 4 sets of that, and then repeat. I will stop. So I am that kind of a person.
Hmm.
However,
Hmm.
if you have 10 songs and I can dance through it, and you can introduce something like that, that keeps me interested. So
Right.
it changes from person to person. What might be good for us, me, might not be good for the other person. What might be
Right.
interesting for me might not be good
Hmm.
interesting for the other person. So the need
Hmm.
of the hour is to come up with such activities, such fitness challenges like walkathons, plank challenges, diet assistances, employee assistance program. For mental well-being, we provide employee assistance program, wherein there we have we have counselors on board who will counsel, and the person going through a stressful situation. And I'm
Right.
so happy that we are living in a time when slowly the taboo around mental well-being is going, and
Yes.
awareness is increasing every day. And people are understanding what is more important is fitness and physical well-being is important, but mental well-being is in a way more important, because if you don't take care of mental well-being, doesn't matter how fit you are, you will still stop.
Right.
And that's the unfortunate situation. Okay.
Hmm.
So the need,
Yeah.
coming up with these kind of programs, making it interesting, the organizations will have to invest to make it interesting, challenging, gamifying it. Okay. Creating a habit,
Right.
being that push,
Right.
simple, like we do something called as a water challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. So wherein a lot of people during summers have this problem of drinking less water, or not drinking the adequate amount of water. So this is
Yes.
like, you have an inbuilt wellness program. So we have our wellness partners who have an app. The app will send you automatic notifications to drink water, and all those people who registered, they drink and they just take it out, and it is just like shutting off your alarm. As simple as
Right.
that. So
Right.
that's how
Right.
we gamified even a water challenge.
That's good. That's really nice. I mean, it was, it's very nice to hear about the new and innovative ways how you can implement in bringing out something good, from your,
Yes, yes.
to give something good to your employee, right? So, coming back to specifically to the women employees, what's
Hmm.
your say about, because women go through a lot of challenges, maternity leave, like you have to stay with your kid, you have to work one now, once the company says you have to be back to your office right now, so they have to compromise on a lot of things which is going on behind them. And what do you say is the best way for a woman employee to do, or what's the best thing for her that as an HR firm you can offer her when she's back to office, and what are the things that she needs to focus on to bring the best out of her work.
See, when I say, in creating a plan for your own self, it is regardless of any gender.
Okay.
You have to create a plan which will motivate you to work. Just don't follow something blindly. And
Right.
I am totally against of these crash diets. And I am sure you are somebody who will talk more about it, but I am somebody who's totally against
Yes.
crash diets, because
Mm.
crash diet have done more harm than good. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's a fact of life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I want to tell specifically to women employees is that, you know beauty has no definition. Okay, beauty has no definition. I might be big, I might be beautiful, I might be small, I might be petite, I might be beautiful. Every body is beautiful. And the
Yeah.
first step towards the wellness journey is self acceptance.
Okay.
Please accept the way you are. If your genes are that you will have a rectangular body structure, you can't really have an hourglass. That's genes, that's genetics. You can't change genetics, you can't change yourself, you can't cut yourself. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
but then what is important is maintaining fitness. What is fitness? Going for a run, for 15 minutes, not more than that. I'm not asking you to like exercise for 2 hours, 3 hours a day. I'm asking you to
Right.
just take out 30 minutes for yourself, 20 minutes for yourself. But do it regularly,
Right.
religiously. And
Right.
you will see, I'm telling you myself, so during COVID, I couldn't go outside because I was in Mumbai. And Mumbai houses are cramped and there is no place to
Yes.
really exercise much.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not somebody who can do indoor exercises. I'm somebody who likes to be outside. I like to be, do all the sports or running or walking. I like the
Right.
fresh air. And so I started building that thing after everything opened. And I feel myself, I feel very energetic, very light. Now I can actually run and catch a train. I did that.
Good.
And that
Yes.
itself gives you so much of it. Please understand, for anybody, any human being, it is important to maintain that posture, because this posture will take you long.
Right.
Stop working on the bed immediately. Get a chair. Get a chair. It
Right.
is only about getting into habit. So people
Yes.
keep telling me, my sisters who are also working from home, they say, I don't know how you can sit for so long and your body doesn't ache. I said, because I've trained my body that way. And if you want to train your body, just write it in front of your laptop and paste it there. Are you sitting straight? Check your posture. Check your posture. And that's a very simple step to keep you reminding that I'm supposed to take care of my posture. I'm supposed to, make sure my core is right. I'm eating right.
Right. Right.
And have fun. I'm not somebody who'll say, oh, don't stay awake the entire night. If you have to party, stay awake the whole night. But then compensate it.
Right.
Rest well.
Right. 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 That's absolutely right. Because, irrespective of any gender, as you mentioned, that women, men, all should take care of their body, right? That is one of the most important thing that they should focus on right now. So, coming back to our corporate, as you mentioned about some of the new and innovative ways in which we can, involve our employees into it. So, and you were talking about the postures and everything. So, can you just give me some examples where, people or employees can take up those sessions in a very quarterly basis, or in a 2 month or a 3 month, where all those particular programs are involved? What kind of programs are involved, or you must have also created such kind of events for them, which have benefited, which have given those benefit to those employees. And even though they use it for a month or after 2 months or taking a gap or something like that, so what are the kind of a proper practical way in which you can give us some example where you can provide a good fitness program, as I can mention, because all our viewers who are watching us, they can also listen to you regarding what are those programs that you are forming, or those programs which are helping to improve the productivity.
See, you spoke about productivity. Let me just tell you a stat which I was actually reading. Okay. So companies save anywhere between $3 to $15 for every $1 that they spend on employee well-being. That's the reality.
That's
For $1, the return is up to $15 of saving. Why? Because 87% of employees consider health and wellness offerings when choosing an employer. These days, I have seen when you're hiring employees, all the new generation employees are looking forward to this. Well, what are your health and well-being offerings? So 87% of your employees, new joinees, would actually look at what you are doing. They will go to your social media, they will go to your website, do all these research work, and come back and then make a decide, because options are many in the market, especially if you're
right.
working the tech space. The
Hmm.
I am hiring big time for tech companies, and I
Hmm.
can tell you it is so difficult to get the right talent. Okay, even, and
Right.
it doesn't matter how much money you're giving to them, because money will come to them. What they want is a work culture, a company which looks after their well-being. Like 56% of the employees had fewer sick days because of wellness programs. The companies who have been running, and this is a certain survey. So it's a fact. That has been derived out. 70% of employees enrolled in wellness programs. Do you know that is what is the scenario? Everybody has become aware of it, and all the COVID thing. Everybody has is understanding it is important to keep health, stay healthy, and not just thin body, lean body. No, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to stay fit, and that is what everybody understands, the real meaning of fitness. So
Right.
so that's the stats around it. And
Yeah.
so coming
Hmm.
up to the programs that we do a lot of programs. I mentioned about the hobby program, then
Hmm.
the hobby thing, then we do something called, we do also on financial well-being. We have financial wellness programs, social well-being, wherein we actually run volunteer programs. Okay, for your mental well-being, we have emotional well-being program. We have something called as holistic you know spirituality program, which will ensure we have something called as the chakra cleansing and other stuff. And we have something as modern as where in color therapy we have, and we
Yeah.
have music therapy, which
Yeah.
can help you feel better, be better. As I have already spoken about, the counselors who work as employee in the employee assistant program, who support your employees during their stressful situation. And this ensures the confidentiality between the employee and the counselor. So all the employees get to know is the number all the employers get to know is the number of counseling that was done, not the person's name. So we ensure that bit is taken care. Then for the physical well-being, we have got so many other programs, like we have dance exercise, we have yoga exercises. Like we have yoga exercise sessions that we will have around 50 employees, and that will cost you just 5,000 rupees per session. So it is that we are
Right.
trying to keep it very reasonable, so that even the smaller organizations can take it up. And
Right.
the entire idea is to promote health and wellness for the organizations.
Right, right. As you said, very, very, very apt, ma'am. Because whatever you have mentioned about, others should also focus, or they should also see how the employees can get benefited, and they should, create such kind of a protocol or program where the people will get benefit, right? And they will be more, energized, and they will be more eager, to follow you up and to follow all those things again and again, so that, as I mentioned, the productivity will increase at their work. And you, as you mentioned about those health, as they are focusing on, the number of absentees will also decrease in the workstation, right? The more healthier you are, the more number of days you can attend at your office. What's your say about it? I think I'm right, right? Because if they are more focused on their health, both physically and psychologically, an employee can attend his or her office on a more regular basis, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, the number of absentees will decrease, so what is
I did mention about that. Around
yeah,
56% of employees had fewer sick days. because of wellness
Yes,
programs.
yes, yes, yes.
Lower
Fear sick.
healthcare cost, you have your GMC policies to take care of your employees, but you really don't want employees to get sick. That is what, 30% of employees have been saved from lifestyle disorders due to corporate wellness programs.
Yes,
That's
yes.
another reality.
Yeah, yeah. So as you mentioned about the things that can be included, counseling, diet, the psychotherapy sessions, the posture maintenance, ergonomics that we mentioned more about, how you can design the workplace, how you can design yourself, your furnitures and everything around. So
Correct.
just wanted to know more about a startup, how a startup can focus on all these corporate sessions. What's your advice for them from different level of startups, how they can focus on these things and how they can design to adapt to the employees situation and the work nature?
See, I understand for startups, the biggest problem is money. Okay, I know money is crunch. But then for startups, there is something called as there is a culture of wherein everybody is a friend to each other. So just like there assume that you are a group of friends and introduce a fitness challenge which are cost effective. What is a fitness challenge? Go play badminton, go have cricket tournaments for your company. What is this? Ensure that you are doing 1 hour of dance exercise every day. It is not that difficult. You can identify there would be somebody in your team only who knows yoga well and who can also teach. And
Right,
in case you don't have any of it, take any subscription, just go or speak to us, we will try to help you. When I spoke about these challenges, these challenges, you need not invest in very expensive apps or something like that. If money is a crunch, use any reminder. Just ask people to use download one common reminder software which or app which is free of cost, available on the Play Store. Or you can just use your Outlook or email to set a meeting reminder, a reminder for everybody. So 15 minutes of dance exercise in between, or did you have water, send a reminder to all your employees. You are around 15 or 10 employees, it will go to
right,
everybody. So
right,
you need not spend money. If you have the intent, we have got plenty of free apps to take care of you.
right, right. Absolutely, that's great. That it's really nice to get such kind of insights, about all these things, which is happening. And being a consultant myself, I've seen a lot of people getting me, asking me how long we should take all these things, what is the duration of these things. And many people offer, a week, a month. In a week, how many days, for how long, 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hours? Even they are also very confused. So what's your say about it? What should be the average timing, that the corporate people should provide? Because they have a, 8 to 10 hours of working time. Within those working times, besides those working times, then how you should, channelize or streamline all those activities that can be done between their working hours?
30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes is enough. Like I will tell you, when it comes to IPL, everybody in the office somehow comes up with this idea of ensuring that you are voting and you are actually know which team is going to win. Those
Right,
these kind of programs are running. Okay,
right,
then why can't you have like a morning walk challenge? As
right.
simple as that.
Hmm.
You can be on one app and everybody can be tracked who
Right,
walk for how many number of steps, and that's enough. Or you can actually have, like we used to go on a when we were physically working, of course that was there, like after our we used to come have quick lunches, like 15 20 minutes of lunch time, and then save around 15 20 minutes and then go for a walk around the campus.
right, right. that's
That
that's
also
really
did help.
nice. Yes, yes. So, as you have mentioned about all those fitness programs, you have mentioned about all those, things that should be followed, and in a very precise manner you should follow. So, have you come across those major problems that they are faced by those employees? What particularly are those things that they complain of, and what are the things that those companies should focus, that okay, this set of people are having this kind of issues, this set of people are having this kind of issues, so like group sessions, customized sessions, and how you can enroll people into it in a very structured way, so that each of the employees will get benefit from the
So that's
program.
what I said. If you are a big organization and you want a very structured approach, there are a lot of apps, and there are a lot of companies which will help you do that. And they give you this free apps, and they actually create this wellness calendar for you, and based on the health and well-being of each employee, they can join one or the other program. Like for my previous organization, which was a health company, it was a world-renowned health company. What we did, I was among those people who launched the wellness program for the organization. And so I can tell you from scratch how we did it. Was we went ahead and created this entire we did the entire 9 yard. So what we did, we asked employees to go through this entire health checkup, which told them what was their scenario. And there we actually kept a session with the doctor in the office, because doctors were working with us, so we could actually do that. And so wherein the doctor suggested them for which program they should opt for, and based on that they joined the program. Now, you had also asked me what are the major kind of problems that are there. So the number one problem is obese. Okay. Obesity is the number one problem,
Hmm.
because of long working hours, lack of exercises. People tend to gain weight, and that's a normal thing. And then age also, that everything keeps coming into it picture. And then again, because of obesity, you have lifestyle disorders like diabetes, blood pressure, and then you have body pain. Back pain is again cervical pain. These are very very common between employees. And then because of the long hours, a lot of employees also have the scenario of foot swelling, specifically for women, because they do not have the raised platforms for them, the chairs. They do not. These kind of scenarios, I think these are the majority of your employees will fall in these kind of disorders. Okay. And when it comes to, then for women, one thing, another thing is very is they are very anemic. Okay. Hemoglobin count, that is something which is again a big concern. And these all educated women, please go through this test, get your iron test, hemoglobin level checked, because that's important. And hemoglobin can be increased with similar diet supplements, or just by having iron capsules every day. But
Right.
unfortunately, a lot of women in India face this issue. Okay. So please make sure you go through regular checkup. Okay. For this. And these are the major issues. And that's what we consulted a doctor. The doctor gave them ideas as to which group they should join. And then once they joined, the entire wellness program was as per their group, and they used to get enrolled automatically to different several exercises. Or so based on their lifestyle scenario, or their health conditions, they were put into beginner, intermediate, or
Hmm.
advanced programs. So we had everything. So that is the kind of structure that organization can bring in. And if you have that, I'm sure you will create a fit workforce. And a lot of employees won't quit just because of this. Please
That is,
understand,
yeah, yeah,
money is important. I keep telling
right,
organizations today think that, if that giving them big salary is important. That is important, I agree. But it is also important to take care of your employees,
right,
and
right.
that connect will go
Yes,
long.
yes, that's really true. The last thing that you said is absolutely correct, and owing to those this current scenario, that is very much needed. The, as you mentioned, need of the hour. So I would like to ask one more question: is that how the pros and cons of conducting such virtual and on-field events, corporate events, as we have seen that now people are, uh, bound to their home, as I mentioned, working from home and everything. They're going for all those virtual sessions, virtual, corporate events are going on and everything. So what is your, survey, or I can say your study, as you can mention, about the difference between conducting an on-field or a virtual corporate sessions, and how these two have any kind of, advantage and the disadvantages of both?
The similarity is similar to, people attending LMS, that is learning management training, wherein it is a self-paced training. You need your internal will to go ahead with it and other stuff. Okay. However, when you have an instructor led session, it has amazing impact, because first, people respect the individual standing in front of you.
Right,
Okay. So
right.
they are not thinking that some Tom, Dick and Harry has actually created this program and given to us. It is somebody who is certified, come with that experience and exposure, and knows what the person is doing. And of course, when you ask any question to these kind of people, the kind of advice you get from expert, support that you get from expert, is not something that you can actually Google and get the answer to. And then do pick which one is the right one for me. Like if you go and search on WebMD, for everything that you search, I can have AIDS, I can have cancer, or I can die. So everything is there. So rather
That's
than,
yeah.
it is just similar to going and searching the you're going and searching the ailment on WebMD and getting medicines from there. Self medication is harmful. And when it comes to instructor led session, they are highly respected, because
Right,
and they're honored by the employees, because they think that the person who is standing on the other side, doesn't matter if it is happening online, because still there is a human being standing on the other side, and that person is answering questions, and that person comes with a lot of experience and expertise to actually guide them. So that the time spent with an instructor led setup is a time well spent.
right, right. So that is, that is the crunch that you said about, the on field live, watching somebody instructing you, demonstrating you, and definitely you can't help it, you can go for all those virtual events when you can't go out, right? But you have to follow all those, health things. So next, is that how these kind of events or corporate sessions can help in building a strong employee and an employer relationship?
Oh, yeah, like I did mention about it, Shakti, that 77% of employees think that workplace wellness programs positively impact the company culture. And if you really want to create that culture, that association, promote brand loyalty, attachment, genuine care goes long way. And if you genuinely mean well being, people will understand. You need not work too hard.
Right. That's correct. That's correct. When you work towards the benefit, you work towards your own people. They will definitely know what is your, intention in bringing good out of the people and doing good for the company, right? So next,
Correct.
yes, yes. So how is your bonding with your people?
So, that would be like, I don't know. I feel everybody is connected to me. I feel really nice. With the unicorn people is a small group of, but is a small but growing team. So we are now close to around 6-7 employees, and though the team is small, but we have ensured we have a strong connect. And one thing that my company's motto is that everybody is unique, like a unicorn, and every idea is important, and everybody needs to speak their mind out. And
Right.
believe me, barring all your all your physical well-being activities, emotional well-being activities, social well-being activities, what is more important, what is more important to make sure that you respect your employees. because that gives you self satisfaction. And that is the first step to a stressless work environment. Like in today's environment, I was actually conducting a session specifically for managers, wherein I told managers, like, there can be a scenario wherein your employee might be late for 5 minutes on a training, or 5 minutes for your daily meeting, or has a habit, or the child comes in, because right now it was happening with you also, Dr. Shakti. you know because we have to understand, right now we are barging our home is a space for your child, for your family. Okay. And there can be a scenario wherein right now, because there were no domestic helps available, or support was not available, so everybody was trying to do so many things.
Yes.
The relationship will go a long way when we understand challenges that each of us face. There can
Yes.
be a scenario wherein your employee comes late 5 minutes every day. How big an issue is it if the employee by the end of the day is completing the work? What is required is to complete the work. But unfortunately, in Indian structure, there is a lot of stress on timelines. What time did you come in? What time did you go for break? What time did you go home? All this gives undue pressure on the employee's well-being. The person is anyway struggling to meet deadlines at home. Okay. Despite me working from home, I have actually traveled from Bombay to stay with my family in Dhanbad. And that's a small town, and small town has its own challenges, and I'm trying to be with my family, work along with them. But there are scenarios where my mother will tell me, till 7 o'clock you're attending calls, where is your time for family? How do I make them understand that, mama, every year you used to see me only for 5 days when I was working in a corporate job. Now you see me daily. Maybe you
Right.
see me after 8 o'clock. But that is what human nature is.
Yes.
People,
Yes.
we give them this, they want more. They want more.
Yes.
So
They want
please
more.
understand, everybody is going through a tough situation. And it is also for the employees. Okay. There can be a scenario you call your manager and the manager is not answering, because the person also might be doing something, maybe for the heck of it, washing utensils. What's wrong in that? Who else will do it?
Right.
Yeah. So we have in this scenario wherein you have the pandemic, and with the third wave coming into picture from February. That's what I read in the newspaper. I don't know. I hope it doesn't come. Okay, but that's how it is. If we don't stand, for each other, we will fight. Right now, the need of the hour is to stand for each other. Understand that the person each of you are completing work. There can be a mental stress the other person is going through, and might not be that polite to you as you expected. But that's all human nature. Just like politeness is a human nature, getting irritated is also human nature. Anger is also human nature. I don't know why it becomes bad. So I want to just keep just keep it short and tell everybody that, you want to promote well-being. First, create that culture of support. Take that undue pressure. I mean, why build that undue pressure on somebody's head until everything is falling apart? Like 10 minutes you can wait, nothing is falling apart, work is getting done. Companies have made more profit because the cost of production has gone down, because they have saved on rentals. A lot of companies have actually moved out of big rental spaces and just now totally remote. Like my company is totally remote, not required for me. If my client wants me to go and meet them, I'll go meet them. Having a place, a commercial space in Bombay is so expensive. So I think, in order to ensure that you are promoting that positive vibe in your organization, please start making productivity, considering productivity at a 75% during the pandemic.
Right.
Nobody will work at 100%. We are not robos.
Right. Right.
In a gender scenario also, we can't work 100% when you are working from office. In a pandemic scenario, I think 75% is big enough.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yes, you have mentioned about a whole, a whole new thing, or the things which are actually currently happening, and that is what is something very important, that you need to understand the situation of the person who is going through. Accordingly, you need to put for those works or the targets to achieve, the deadlines and everything. So you need to give some space. You need to give some space to yourself, to your body, to physically and psychologically as well, so that you can adapt to all those works coming up to you, and therefore the productivity will also increase accordingly. Okay, so I think we are done with all the questions we had in our mind. So the last thing you would like to share with all our viewers, that what can be done, or what are the new things they can adopt, so that they are not, yeah, from your side, if you can add any tips.
Just my, there's nothing new, I would say. I think I've mentioned a lot, all of it. I just want people to be supportive to each other, understand. I think in India, this work culture thing, I don't know why is it so difficult to say no to a customer. Don't set such timelines which cannot be achieved, first of all. And in case you have given a timeline you still can't achieve, and you see that you have a deadline from 5 days from now, go talk to your client. Your client is also a human being, will understand. I don't know why is it so difficult. No, it will not take away your, I think will not take away that, uh, your uh, personal badge of achiever. No, it will not take away. End of the
Right,
day,
right.
what matter is quality work. Sometimes projects do get delayed. What is required is to inform people well in advance. And coming back to well being is the number one in today's scenario. And it's high time, as an organization, doesn't matter what your size is. You have to make sure that you take care of your employees. And for employees, you will have to understand that if you don't love yourself, nobody will.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct, ma'am. It was really nice listening to all those things, those inputs that you have given us, to our viewers as well who are watching us. And I think all must have gained, something that they can imply. They can adapt all those things, that they can see that how their productivity increases by following all those things. Following all those good habits, I can say, so that if they are at workstation or if they are at home, they are working, so they can, of course, go through long and long of hours of work without getting exhausted and without falling ill, while following all those good things that you have mentioned. So I think we have come to the end of our session. It was really nice having you on our platform today, Janitri. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing quality time to us. So yeah.
Before I go, I want to tell you one thing. Janet 3 is a small group of women trying to actually make a difference. They have started small and they are trying to do this on a regular basis. So, anybody who is listening to me today, please subscribe to their channel because they're trying to do genuine work and get genuine help to women across the nation. And while we are right now focusing on Assam, but not just Assam, we are doing it for the entire country. And if you subscribe to the channel, you will always get notifications of the amazing such talks that the Dr. Shakti and the team at Janet Rumi, all they're doing actually. And we are trying to create this knowledge base for everybody. It's a free of cost knowledge base. Today what I spoke, I would have spoken at any of the paid events. But this is something that I want, any small employer, you are listening to this, please try and implement it. Be a part of this group because we will help you grow.
Thank you so much, Mom. It was lovely, hearing about all those encouraging words about Janitri. Because yes, at Janitri we are working hard. We are trying to reach out to more number of people, and so that we can share at least some amount of knowledge we have, and we can have experts like you with us, so that you can also share some knowledge from your side to them. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone who have joined us, who is watching us. Stay tuned to Janitri for more such live events, and we will be coming up with new events next week. So stay tuned, stay connected with Janitri. This was Dr. Shakti, and along with me, it was Miss Vandana Teji. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Shakti. We look forward to your exercise and fitness
Yes.
videos.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, so much. Take
Thank
care,
you.
Nitin.
Good day. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.